Right. Coming on to a practical question, which, judging by the handwriting, is from the same person. It seems that some people, order members and others, are unable to sustain a regular sitting meditation practice for long. Do you have any words of advice or encouragement for these people? Yeah, I think there's a slight ambiguity about the question, whether it means, or whether it asks, whether one finds it difficult to sit for a long time, or whether one finds it difficult to sit regularly, yeah, and keep it up. Yeah? Any comment on that?
Well, it was intended to mean regular. So regularity is that.
To keep up the regularity. Yeah? So I wonder what it is that makes it difficult for people to keep up their sitting meditation practice regularly, for long. I suppose there are all sorts of conditions. I think one thing that makes it difficult is if you don't have someone sitting with you. I think if you're a member of a community and it's understood that you all meditate together at a regular time, whether morning or evening, it does help. Because there's someone to jog your elbow, to remind you, or to get you up, or to ring the bell. So I think if one is having to keep up the regularity of the sitting meditation practice on one's own, it's rather more difficult. So one should be aware of that. Be aware of the fact that, well, look, I'm trying to keep up this practice on my own. So I have to be more careful. I can easily get distracted. I've no one to rely on. I've got to get myself up. I've got to get myself into the shrine room. Nobody else is going to do that. And of course, if one lives in a spiritual community, if that is at all possible, or can spend some time, in the spiritual community or on retreat, that is very helpful, because it's easier to do something when everybody else is doing it. You don't want to feel left out. And also, of course, there's a question of determination. That one has to have a strong determination that one is going to keep up a regular practice, and that means one has got to have an understanding of the benefits of it, and one has got to keep reminding oneself about those benefits. Otherwise, one is not going to feel inspired to keep up the regularity. And one must really want to meditate. Especially if you're practicing on your own. So I can't really say much more than that. If one has to meditate on one's own, everything does depend so much on the individual. Not just as regards what you do, when you're on your meditation cushion, but actually how you get yourself onto that meditation cushion, more or less every morning or evening, as the case may be. So it's a test of what we may call continuity of purpose. Any comment on that? It's all pretty obvious, isn't it? So it is a situation in which everyone will find himself or herself at some time or other, so it's something we all need to bear in mind.